Trustee Reeves?
Here.
Trustee Buffalo?
Yes.
Trustee Adams?
Here.
Trustee Harvey?
Yes.
We have a quorum.
We do not have any public comments for closed session, therefore we are adjourning to closed session number 4. Adjourn.
Okay.
right now. Okay, tell the usher. Oh, Anthony, there you are. Anytime you're ready. Oh, yeah, that's true.
We are, I'm sorry, we are reconvening to public session. Attendance?
Student trustee Rivera,
Present.
trustee Gaines,
Present.
trustee Reeves,
Here.
trustee Buffalo,
Here.
trustee Adams, trustee Harvey.
Here.
We have a quorum.
7 is the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Adams, will you help us with that?
Thank you. All please rise, face the flag, place your hand over your heart, and recite with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Approval of the meeting agenda is 8.1. Yes, Mr. Adams.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda, except for item 14.1, which I would like removed.
I'll second that.
Vote, discussion? Any discussion? 14.1 is being removed. Vote?
Student trustee Rivera,
Approve.
trustee Gaines,
Approve.
trustee Reeves,
Yes.
trustee Buffalo,
Yes.
trustee Adams,
Aye.
trustee Harvey.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Alrighty, there is no report for 9.1 closed session. Do we have any public comment cards?
One for agenda item 14.10.
Okay. So we will move on to 11, employee recognition. So we are starting with this resolution. This is 11.1, approval of resolution honoring our former board member, Lou Stoltz. Whereas Lou Stoltz was the embodiment of integrity, honesty, and commitment to the college, students, and community, and whereas Lou Stoltz was a lifetime resident of the Antelope Valley, serving this area his entire life, embodying the essence of a true servant leader, and whereas Lou Stoltz was a public servant, and whereas Lou Stoltz served his nation as a Vietnam War veteran of the U.S. Navy, and he served the EAFB Civ Mill Group, and whereas Lou Stoltz served his community for decades in Lancaster West Rotary as president, past president on multiple boards of directors, his service to the Antelope Valley Board of Trade as a charter member and decade-long member of the board of directors, and as board president, resulting in being honored as a lifetime member. His service as lead field representative for Congressional Buck McKeon, and whereas Lou Stoltz served Antelope Valley College District on the Board of Trustees at a time when the college faced the recession of 2008, financial uncertainty, fiscal rebuilding, passage of Measure AV in 2016, and the dramatic, unprecedented challenges of operating under the initial restrictions of COVID-19 marked him a community service leader, evidenced as he always had a joke, a smile, a handshake, and how can I help you? Now, therefore, be it resolved and ordered, the Board of Trustees of the Antelope Valley Community College District celebrates the life of Lou Stoltz, recognizing his dedication and service as a model of community involvement and contribution. The Board of Trustees in Antelope Valley Community College District mourn his loss with his friends and family and will treasure his memory and legacy of service. May I receive a motion for this resolution?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? Vote.
Student trustee Rivera,
Approve.
trustee Gaines,
Approve.
trustee Reeves,
Yes.
trustee Buffalo.
Yes.
Trustee Adams.
Aye.
Trustee Harvey.
Yes.
Motion passes.
I would also like to ask Mrs. Karen Stoltz and her granddaughter Chloe to come up to receive this resolution celebrating the life of Mr. Stoltz. We are now to 11.2, 2025 Black Educator Excellence Award nominees. The California Community College Chancellor's Office has announced the nominations for the 2025 Black Educator Excellence Awards, B. These prestigious awards, first conceptualized in 2022 by the Black Student Success Week Planning Committee, celebrate educators who uplift the Black community through exemplary leadership, innovation, and a steadfast commitment to equity. And so we are going to call each up. Go ahead.
Okay.
You make the call, and I'm going to.
And the nominations were for these different categories: Most Outstanding Program or Initiative Supporting Black Excellence, Classified Professional of the Year, Full-Time Faculty of the Year, Instructional and Counseling, Adjunct Faculty of the Year, Administrator of the Year, and the Hidden Hero Awards. And as Board President Harvey commented, our local Black Student Success Week Planning Committee organized the campus input for the nominations for these awards. So proud that we at Antelope Valley College sent a nominee in for each and every category. And so please come up to the stage when I announce your name, and we'll have the board greet you and take a photo. Andrea Brown, Dr. Rashida Brown Elise, Amaka Dawn, Kendra Ruff, Ty Steens, and unfortunately absent tonight, VJ Jennings will also be honored.
Okay. Oh, lovely. I never cease to be amazed or impressed by the things that we do here at this college. Okay, so we are to 12. We have 12.1 MGI Advocacy, Inc. with a presentation for us.
Mark McDonald.
Hi, Mark.
Thank you, trustees, for having me down here. I have a PowerPoint presentation to provide some background about what happened in this previous year and a little bit of a preview of what we'll see in the next year. So just real quick, in the state budget process, we are in the part of the development of it. So the budget was signed July 1st, but the Department of Finance and the administration is already in the process of building their budget that they'll introduce as their preliminary budget January 10th. We just completed the second year of a two-year session. The 23-24 two-year session, the legislature will come back on December 2nd, and that'll start actually the 25-26 two-year session. So just real quickly, I want to go over what the budget agreement was. Are we missing pages? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. We got a full COLA for apportionment. It was a small COLA, 1%, particularly compared to last year's 8%. There was a 0.5% for enrollment growth. There was COLA provided for categorical programs, except for the Student Equity and Achievement Program. And I'm going to get to that when we talk about priorities for next year. And then there was, I'm not going to go over each one of these, but $12 million for e-transcripts to make it easier for your students to transfer, and then $5 million for pathways for low-income workers. There was $60 million for specific nursing programs, and this is going to go out as a grant program for districts to apply for nursing partnerships with CSUs, UCs, or what we call ICCUs, Independent California Colleges and Universities. And then there will be some reporting language on the student-centered funding formula moving forward. And then of note, and I'll talk to a little bit about this at the end as well, the student housing lease revenue bond budget trailer bill language was approved. Antelope Valley College was not included as one of the selected projects, but I'm going to hit on, if I don't say something at the end, remind me at the end, because there's some movement on that. And then I do want to say that the Cal Grant reform was not included in this budget. It was deemed that it was too expensive. That proposal would have really shifted a lot of money to community college students, and we'll continue to advocate for that in the coming year. Over Proposition 98, as you know, it was a tough budget year. So there was what we call an accounting gimmick for Proposition 98 and a suspension of Proposition 98, which means they lowered the guarantee and will be paid back in future years. Specifically for community colleges, they used a lot of the rainy day fund, the Prop 98 rainy day fund, to backfill what were deferred payments or reductions to Proposition 98. And in the end, what was overall for Proposition 98, K-14, what was an $8 billion reserve. For next year, they have about $1 billion left in that. And I will note, I think of note is the second bullet that is bolded. And this is something that you're going to have to take a look at in the next year. There was a deferral included in the budget. So at the end of next year, about $246.7 million of the total community college budget was, your payment was deferred from 24-25 to 25-26. So just so you know, when we come next year, if there's additional money, that's the first thing that'll have to be paid back. So where do we have opportunities? Kind of a little bit about how we operate. I zoom in to the President's Council meeting at least once a month, talk about bills, talk about the budget, get feedback, and that's how I use the information for advocacy. And right now, today we had a meeting with the President's Cabinet to talk about priorities for next year as this budget and this legislative session develops. I want to go over some bills of interest last year. Some will be reintroduced. Some will just die, and some were signed into law, and you will have to deal with them. So there were two bills that would have allowed community colleges to offer baccalaureate degrees in nursing, allowed 15 community college, or 10 community college districts as a pilot. And I think that these were probably two of the most consequential bills that we've seen at the community college level in a while. Unfortunately, they were both vetoed by this governor. Senator Roth was one of the authors. He's termed out next year. Assemblymember Soria is intent on reintroducing the bill at least to get it as far as she can. It may be a situation where we have to wait out this governor who has 2 more years before we get something through. Overwhelming support in the legislature. Your senator, Senator Wilk, big supporter of Senator Roth's bill. I think we got, I'm looking at you, President, 2 no votes or something like that in the entire legislature. So there was also a bill that was reintroduced that would have required you to allow students to sleep overnight in your parking lots. This bill was held in appropriations. Given the budget situation, there were a lot of bills that would have cost a lot of money that ended up being held in appropriations or vetoed by the governor. I do want to note when we get into bonds, AB 247 was passed, and this is an education facilities bond that I'm sure all of you are aware of. It's now Proposition 2 that's going to be on the November ballot. It's $10 billion for K-14 education. Of that $10 billion, $1.5 billion would go to community colleges if that passes. And that would be something that the district would apply through the chancellor's office for that money for facilities, should it pass. 2 bills dealing with faculty and staff that were vetoed for fiscal reasons. One would have increased the part-time faculty load, and the other one would have provided first right of refusal for classified staff to open positions, and both of those were vetoed by the governor for fiscal reasons. This was another disappointing one. AB 2093 would have allowed you to use your Promise Grant money to provide free baccalaureate degrees to your students. So they wouldn't have to pay fees when they transfer from your lower division to the upper division baccalaureate programs. Vetoed by the governor again for cost reasons. Assemblymember Santiago is termed out, but his district director has indicated that he wants to reintroduce this bill next year should he be elected. and it's looking like you'd probably be elected. Just a couple other bills to go over. Financial aid, AB 1885 extends financial aid to DSPS students who are taking 9 units, as opposed to requiring them to take 12. And then AB 2033 would request authorization for one general store to be designated as an EBT store for students so that they can have access to the goods there. Let me just go over real quick, and I'm not going to just go, you can read this, and so I'm just going to hit the high level. Big priority is to fully fund COLA and olive growth. We're getting to a point where districts, including Antelope Valley, are starting to grow to the point where there may not be enough growth funding to cover all the students. Big priority this year is to make sure that all students are funded. COLA for all categorical programs, including the SEAP program, Student Equity and Achievement Program, where you fund a lot of your counselors because they have step and column increases, and without a COLA to that categorical, it becomes difficult to fund that. Additional funding for financial aid, and then expanding the Rising Scholars Network, which is education for formerly incarcerated students. And then support for zero-degree textbooks or burden-free textbooks. Expansion of funding for instructional service agreements, fire and police training, implementing a statewide CalFresh data MOU so that students have better access to those benefits. And then I put here nursing and allied health priorities. It's not just nursing that's an issue, it's all of allied health. And then I just wanted to touch a little bit on the affordable student housing program. There was recently an article in the paper that it looks like College of the Canyons is not going to take their award, so it opens up some potential money that might be there, so something that could be on the table for you to discuss if it's something you want to do going forward. The other thing is, and this isn't in my PowerPoint because it just came through the other day, September revenues were above projections, and so far projections are looking good, although if you saw the stock market today, it's been a roller coaster, and it's just the first quarter, but so far it's looking like the budget projections are on track for the time being, at least. So with that, I'm happy to take any questions or discussion at this point.
I have one question. I noticed in the media that the governor had a concern that the community colleges were competing with the state universities, and that's why he vetoed some of this legislation. Is that correct?
We had this conversation today, and I don't believe that's the case at all. In fact, I think the big winners of the vetoes were the for-profit institutions. And I always say that community college nursing students we're not competing with CSU or UC. We're competing with for-profit and building debt, going out of state, or not going anywhere at all. And the president and I had conversations about how we can better maybe frame this issue should we go forward again next year. And because I think there's enough students for everybody.
Thank you.
He pretty much asked the questions very similar. I was going to ask you about the
the nursing program, and if you felt that the reason the governor is vetoing the community colleges from having the bachelor's in nursing, do you see it as a monetary reason, or do you see it as primarily the fact that we would compete with the CSUs?
Yes, I think it was not a monetary issue. It was not. And if you look at the veto message, the governor bought into the CSU argument that these partnerships of community college students moving to CSU and completing their upper division at the CSU are working, and that students are, and that there are free slots at the CSU. But as we know with the students that you're serving, a free slot at Sonoma State doesn't necessarily help a student attending Antelope Valley College who's place-bound. And like I said, I think there's enough room for everyone.
Thank you.
Mr. McDonald, I wondered, have you looked at any of the data on attrition from the state of California? I know in the K-12 space, schools are struggling with enrollments. I'm concerned about the statement that there are enough students for everyone. Are we sure about that? Because some of the governor's data does not support that.
Yeah, that's a great question. I think when you talk about students that are moving from K-12 into community colleges, you're exactly right, because the demographics of students at the K-12 level across the state, not necessarily in certain regions, are lowering. So the lower division courses, you're exactly right. But when we talk about the upper division, and you talk about specifically nursing and allied health, where the number of students that you are allowed to serve is constricted, then there is enough room. But exactly the reason that we've had declining enrollment over the last few years is exactly what you're talking about. But that's for that ages 18 to kind of 23 or something like that, not these older students that we're serving in our in the baccalaureate area. So.
Right. Thank you so much. I think it's important for the college and marketing to be able to align those types of things and to know who our target audiences should be.
Yeah.
Thank you. Does the board have any more questions? No? Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Appreciate you. Thank you for having me.
We now are at 12:02, sabbatical leave presentation by Dr. Sherry Zhu.
Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Shall I start?
Yes.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. First of all, I'd like to thank the Board of the Trustees for this wonderful sabbatical opportunity for me to conduct my research project, Philosophy of Happiness. Now I'm going to do a summarize. I'm going to summarize my project by using my PowerPoint. I don't know if everybody can see the PowerPoint. Now I'm at the first page, Philosophy of Happiness.
Yeah.
There are 4 sections. First one is seeking happiness outside of oneself. According to the 1978 study, lottery winners and accident victims, is happiness relative? People adapt to positive and negative events, such as winning the lottery, becoming paralyzed. Over time, both groups returned to a baseline level of happiness. The material wealth that initially brings satisfaction will become the new normal, leading to a reset in expectations and desires. This means that the increased wealth cannot have a long-term impact on happiness. People adapt to changes in their circumstances, and their overall happiness levels remain stable over time, despite significant positive or negative events, and we call that hedonic treadmill. Acquiring a new car, receiving a promotion, getting another's attention, and falling in love can temporarily boost happiness. However, the initial excitement will fade as the new possession or experience becomes a normal part of life, leading to a return to previous levels of happiness. If happiness is primarily based on external factors, it is necessarily fragile because it depends on factors beyond one's control. In sum, finding happiness in the world is possible but only temporary and can easily turn into a form of addiction or a source of suffering. Now I'm at section 2, differentiating happiness from pleasure, is slide number 6. It's crucial to distinguish between pleasure and happiness because it helps us focus on what truly matters for long-term fulfillment. Pleasure is a temporary, often intense feelings of enjoyment or satisfaction that arises from specific stimuli or experiences. It is usually linked to physical sensations like eating delicious food or immediate gratifications like buying something new. Happiness is a deep sense of satisfaction with life as a whole. It is a broader and enduring state of well-being. Happiness encompasses emotional and cognitive aspects such as life satisfaction, positive emotions, and meaning. It is not about feeling good at the moment, but about feeling fulfilled and at peace over time. It is not dependent on specific events and it is connected to an ongoing state of mind. Section 3, ego versus essence. Now I'm at slide number 11. The ego and essence represent two distinct aspects of the self. Due to their irreconcilable differences, the ego has a constant desire for pleasure, while the essence strives for lasting fulfillment and inner peace, namely happiness. The ego is concerned with survival and navigating the material world as a separate individual, often driven by fear and a sense of lack. In contrast, the essence is focused on purpose, connection, and spiritual growth, operating from a place of love, unity, and higher consciousness. I'll skip number 12 and now on 13. An ego-driven life. For an ego-driven life, the sense of self is heavily influenced by material success, social status, and external validation. The ego-driven self suffers a constant fear of failure or inadequacy, which leads to stress, anxiety, and a relentless pursuit of external achievements. For an essence-driven life, the sense of self is grounded in authenticity and inner truth. Identity is connected to a deeper understanding of one's values and purpose rather than external validation. The essence-driven self finds inner strength and peace even in the face of challenges or criticism. The ego creates a sense of separation between oneself and others, leading to a focus on differences rather than commonalities. This separation drives competition and conflict and leads to jealousy, envy, and resentment. The ego's sense of lack drives for competitive behavior and personal gain, which leads to conflicts and wars. The essence creates a genuine connection with oneself and others, leading to meaningful and satisfying relationships. The essence is capable of unconditional love and compassion and expresses love in its purest form. The essence allows the person to flow with life's changes and maintain its balance and equilibrium. I'm now on page 18. Happiness as a goal of education. Happiness should be an aim of education because happiness plays a crucial role in students' holistic development and overall well-being. Education that integrates happiness as a goal supports students' emotional well-being, enhancing learning and preparing them for a fulfilling life. By teaching emotional, social, and life skills, education can contribute to students' long-term happiness and success. Focusing on happiness not only benefits individual students, but also contributes to a positive and supportive school culture and society, so that as educators, we can design courses to cultivate the happiness mindset. And next slide, number 21, and we can create a happy learning environment. I'm not going to go to details of these slides. And also on page 22, slide 22, from an ego-based model to an essence-based model, we can switch from an ego-based model of learning to an essence-based. That means a shift of focus from external validation and competitive success to internal growth and fulfillment. And also we can help our students to choose majors and careers in alignment with the essence, and also create activities that cultivate the happiness mindset, such as writing gratitude journaling, journals, strengths-based projects, mindfulness and meditation practices, happiness research presentation, positive affirmation and visualization exercises, or happiness in action projects. There can be many examples. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. That's my presentation.
Thank you so much. That was such a wonderful presentation. Let me check and see if our board members, do you have any questions? Dr. Zhu, I wanted to say that you had in the section that said the ego leads to conflict, suffering, and depression. In your first bullet, it said the ego creates a sense of separation between oneself and others, leading to a focus on differences rather than commonalities. I thought that that was a very mindful statement, and it also leans into living an essence-driven life. I absolutely loved your presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody.
12:03, we are on sabbatical leave presentation by Dr. Karina Georgie.
That's my mom. All right, good evening, Board of Trustees and President Zealot. Thank you to the FPD committee for giving me the sabbatical opportunity, and special thank you to the interpreters this evening. During my sabbatical, I completed a digital editing film course. I co-chaperoned the 2024 Emoja HBCU field trip. I attended academic presentations on genocide scholarship. I established qualitative research and volunteer opportunities at a community youth center in the city of Pomona, the Lopez Urban Farm, and the Dolores Huerta Foundation. I completed 10 chapters of my upcoming book on dynamic forms of multidirectional memory, identity, and ancestral knowledge. Publication expected 2025. While my past publication on matrilineal forms of tasiography is currently featured at the Disney Red Cat Theater in an exhibit entitled All Watched Over by Machines by Loving Grace by Firuz Hakopian until 2025 February. In considering a path towards an AI ancestral intelligence, I'm reminded of the Hawaiian proverb, akava ma mua, akava ma hope, which means To move forward, we must look to the past. This quote grounds the pursuit of knowledge in a bedrock of multi-generational wisdoms, reminding us to rely on what is learned while evoking the power to judge rightly based on those experiences. According to scholars, many students do not believe that their instructors have all the answers. However, students expect faculty to be active listeners, understanding, and available to them. A 2024 Gallup poll surveyed 2,317 Gen Z students and found that 68% of the respondents claimed that they were on the fence about going to college. 86% said that they're not being challenged in a good way. 25% want teachers to mentor them on future careers, but 73% just want teachers to care about them. In this vein of care and consideration, I turn to critical pedagogy, which introduces us to new opportunities that help us better understand our oppressions, connections, histories, and subjectivities. By asking key questions about our world, we open ourselves up to different ways of understanding our relationship to our lived experiences. It emphasizes a liberatory praxis, a reflexive and nuanced examination of society. It resists dehumanized forms of instruction like the banking model, or punitive forms of instruction, which I hate. It's disruptive to school factories. Instead, it invites creativity and inquiry, as well as hearing each other's voices in a community setting. However, when we anchor this framework in a digital space, this lens transcends physical boundaries while offering mobility and connectivity from anywhere with open information sources. And although this sounds optimistic, the caveat is that our society is currently negotiating widespread forms of misinformation and confusion. In this context, how does technology like ChatGPT fit into as a new language learning model? This is a technology that is not immune to Eurocentric bias. An example is that ChatGPT currently ranks Black women's resumes as the lowest qualified candidates for jobs. Then my question is, how would a phenomenon like this affect students at Antelope Valley College versus students at Harvard who have cultivated scholarly voices at some of the most prestigious secondary elite schools in the world? How would this technology impact the voices of students who have been historically, traditionally marginalized? Seymour Papert reminds us that learning language models should not be perceived as tools, but rather vessels of information that is used to carry our voices, perhaps in addition to using ChatGPT as a writing guide. We could also show students how uncreative and unimaginative ChatGPT is when it comes to explaining topics that they feel passionate about, including themselves in their lives, whilst emphasizing the uniqueness and power of scholarly voices, even in the midst of misinformation and dominant voices. I take up the blurred concepts of postdigitality, which acknowledges that we do not exist in a binary off and on mode, and that we should trace the ways in which we're constantly connected, as well as citizen science, which invites in participation from the general public, again, blurring communal boundaries, to conduct research in a wide range of areas and disciplines like sociology, ecology, communications, biology, astronomy. While many scholars use the term citizen science, citizen is a loaded term with nation-state building overtones exclusive to transnational or undocumented students. So I acknowledge that, and it's not my term. However, I intersect core tenets of indigenous knowledge and attempt to reimagine and reclaim citizen science as a holistic form of technological development and pragmatism, recognizing that nature is a teaching tool and understanding ancestral traditions along the way. An important note is it takes several hundreds of thousands of gallons of water and watts of energy to use language learning models. I was inspired by a quote by Dr. Robin Wilmer Kimmerer from her book, Braiding Sweetgrass. Technology without restoring a relationship is an empty exercise. In addition to collaborative, fluid, connected online communities, learning communities, Indigenous pedagogies lean towards transparency, authenticity, respect, and honest dialogue. The skill set and pre-existing knowledge students possess should be valued and also shared with their peers. The data shows that college students already use interdisciplinary intelligences via social media platforms in socially and politically important ways, using technologies to illuminate and advocate for migrants, LGBTQA folks, veterans, undocumented folks, and disabled folks seeking online resources. Digital media is a critical way to promote student wellness from a mental, emotional, and social standpoint. The scholarship shows that the students are already invested in DEI. This is already a past history thing that people are currently debating, but it's already being engaged with in genuinely substantive ways aimed at unsettling post-coloniality versus performative displays of diversity. They are not just seeking out DEI, they are seeking out forms of online forms of social justice. Currently, Los Rios Community College students will work alongside the counseling office to provide provide support, coordination, and connection. Moore Park Community College has an advocacy program and a civic engagement program which actually shares the same region as Antelope Valley College in Region 6. And UC Berkeley students advocate for assistance regarding, or their advocate assistance in regards to academic conduct, financial aid, and grievances. Online and on-site student advocacy is a digital critical form of empowerment. Native Americans have a proverb, tell me and I'll forget, show me and I may not remember, involve me and I'll understand. Once students have the opportunity to become stakeholders and decision makers in shaping their campus policies, the research shows that students will not only maintain these ties with the larger community, but also they will carry these networking skills into the future. My hope is that students become proactive advocates in pursuing positive cultural and technological changes that will uplift their peers and extended community members, whilst reclaiming the blueprint of their ancestors and establishing their voices as scholars. Thank you so much.
Wow. Thank you so much. That was such a great presentation. Board, do we have any questions? Well, I do want to say that years ago in research, working on my master's, I came across these two researchers, Garcia and Ortiz were their names, and they said something so profound I never forgot it. Culture provides the context in which all students learn. And that's what you're talking about, being culturally responsive to students, and it's really important. Thank you again.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
We now have our financial aid disbursement update presentation, 12.4.
Do I get to move the little thing, or does someone move it for me? Okay. All right. Good evening, Board of Trustee members, Superintendent, President Zalette, Legal Counsel, and others via Zoom and President in person today. My name is Didania Padron, and I'm the Vice President of Student Services. I'm here to give you an update on the financial aid disbursement as requested by the Board. Let's see, is this okay? As you might be aware, the changes to the free application for federal student aid, the FAFSA, impacted students across the nation, which caused delays in federal funding. First-time applicants experienced many issues with application process, that there was a reduction, 9% reduction nationwide to applications. Overall, there was a decline of about 432,000 applications due to 40% technical issues with launching and the rolling out of the applications. AVC students faced issues with financial aid changes as well. I would like to share some financial aid data with you. The total aid to students within the first 4 weeks of the fall semester was $11,468,691. We have over 948 students that have received aid in the following categories. The Pell Grant, over $7 million. SEOG funds, $177,000. That's our Supplemental Education Opportunity Grant. That's a small grant, about $260 per semester. Our Cal Grant, which is about $1,790,267. Our Chafee Grant, $37,500, which really focuses on foster youth grants. And then Student Success Grant is over $2 million. That's our Promise program. And our scholarships for over $269. At the start of the fall term, a number of students did not receive their anticipated financial aid due to various reasons within the Department of Education. AVC financial aid staffers called the DOE regarding this issue. However, we are informed that flags were put in place and there was no information. However, the issues with the Department of Ed impacted students, and they were not resolved in time for a regular scheduled disbursement of Monday, September 9th. The financial aid team took into action and worked with fiscal services to expedite a special off-schedule disbursement. So by Thursday, September 12th of the same week, financial aid funds were available to be accessed, and funds were delivered to students the next day on Friday, September 13th. We dispersed $216,842 to about 195 students. There was close to about 170. We found about an additional 25 additional students, and we dispersed that aid. This last slide is really just a slide that talks a little bit about it's an overview of what was covered in the previous slides. The slide culminates with a bird's eye view of the college taking into action and working together to meet the needs of the students. And it showcases some of the members on the team who were instrumental in pulling together to make this special disbursement happen. And so I want to thank everyone on the team, not only enrollment services, financial aid, admissions and records, and fiscal services came together to really solve the issue and get the aid to students quickly.
Thank you so much. Board, do we have any questions? Trustee Gaines?
Yes. Thank you, first of all, for this report. I really appreciate it. During the time that our students experienced these delays in their financial aid, were the instructors and the professors on this campus made aware that many of our students did not receive their financial aid in time to perhaps go out and buy, I'm just going to make this up, lab kits or certain dissection kits, et cetera, that they may have needed early on in the semester?
Yes, I think that we worked with academic affairs to give the report, but I think a lot of instructors know, in talking to students, they were told to go and while we were getting the funds over to Books Help or emergency grants or things of the nature, we worked with these students hand in hand. We called every student to let them know what we could do in the meantime as we were getting these disbursements. So they really, by the time we had the board meeting, within like literally 2-3 days, they were given the money that they needed.
And you said that was about 190 some students?
It was initially 170 that we looked at, and then we, in filtering in more, we found an additional 25, so 190 students, I think I said. Yep.
And that 190 some students, was
195.
that the bulk of our students who receive financial aid?
The majority received their financial aid. It was just these that got pulled by the Department of Ed for special processing, and we had no idea why, because we had allowed it and given their funds. It was something beyond our control that was with the Department of Ed.
Okay. Good. Thank you very much.
And to your point, Trustee Gaines, we did have an extensive uptick in our usage of Free Books Help. And so we know that students were utilizing that resource if they missed their financial aid.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Donnie.
We are now to 13 consent agenda. May I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Discussion? Those in favor? Call for the vote, Patty.
Student Trustee Rivera,
Approve.
Trustee Gaines,
Approve.
Trustee Reeves,
Yes.
Trustee Buffalo,
Yes.
Trustee Adams,
Aye.
Trustee Harvey,
Yes.
motion carries.
We are beginning with 14.2, approval of the Memorandum of Understanding between Antelope Valley College Federation of Teachers, AVC FT, and the Antelope Valley College District, AVCCD, temporary changes to Article 8 in the collective bargaining agreement regarding evaluations and class climate. May I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Vote?
Student Trustee Rivera,
Approve.
Trustee Gaines,
Approve.
Trustee Reeves,
Yes.
Trustee Buffalo, Trustee Adams,
Aye.
Trustee Harvey,
Yes.
motion carries.
14.3 is approval of the Antelope Valley Community College District, AVCCD, Equal Employment Opportunity, EEO, Annual Certification Form. May I receive a motion?
So move.
Second.
Discussion? The vote?
Student Trustee Rivera,
Approve.
Trustee Gaines,
Approve.
Trustee Reeves,
Yes.
Trustee Buffalo,
Yes.
Trustee Adams,
Aye.
Trustee Harvey,
Yes.
motion carries.
14.4 is approval of amendment number 2 to services agreement between Community College Search Services, LLC, and Antelope Valley Community College for providing appropriately qualified candidates for an interim director financial aid position. May I receive a motion?
So move.
Second.
Discussion? Vote?
Student trustee Rivera,
Approve.
trustee Gaines,
Approve.
trustee Reeves,
Aye.
trustee Buffalo.
Yes.
Trustee Adams.
Aye.
Trustee Harvey.
Yes.
Motion carries.
14.5 is approval of academic policies and procedures, AP&P Committee's recommendation of course listings for fall of 2025. May I have a motion?
So move.
Second.
Discussion?
Yes. I went through the documents and I was just wondering if there's any clarification as to why the specific classes were being taken off the registrar for 2025? Were they just students weren't enrolling, or are there no professors to teach them?
Dr. Zalat?
This recommendation is put forward from our AP&P committee, and there are processes by which, if there's any inactivation of courses or discontinuations, it goes through a whole shared participatory governance process. And so those minutes, I believe, because it's a participatory governance group, I think the minutes for those meetings are available for folks to look at. And we could have a discussion about particular courses if you like, Anthony.
All right, thank you. And then also just if students who are following those paths and need those classes, are they notified of the changes?
If there is a discontinuation, colleges, it's our privilege to teach out currently enrolled students. We cannot ethically leave students in the lurch, nor could we legally leave them in the lurch. And so if a program is discontinued, there is a teach-out plan.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Rivera, for those great questions. Any further discussion?
Yes. If a student is on that path and the classes aren't available, do we outreach to find a community college or online program that will help them?
That's closely related to the question that Anthony asked. And we do, if there's a program that's discontinued, then there's a teach-out plan. If it's courses, then that are an integral part of a plan for a major, then course substitutions are allowed in order to make sure that students can fully matriculate through the program.
Thank you.
Any further questions? Vote?
Student trustee Rivera,
Approve.
trustee Gaines,
Approve.
trustee Reeves,
Yes.
trustee Buffalo.
Yes.
Trustee Adams.
Aye.
Trustee Harvey.
Yes.
Motion carries.
14.6, approval of National Science Foundation, NSF, Grant Award, FANE, 2400508-Advanced Technologic Education. May I receive a motion?
So move.
Second.
Discussion? Vote?
Student trustee Rivera,
Approve.
trustee Gaines,
Approve.
trustee Reeves,
Yes.
trustee Buffalo.
Yes.
Trustee Adams.
Aye.
Trustee Harvey.
Yes.
Motion carries.
14.7, approval of the foster and kinship care education allocation funding from the Chancellor's Office to offer training to resource families. May I receive a motion?
So move.
Discussion? Vote?
Student trustee Rivera,
Approve.
trustee Gaines,
Approve.
trustee Reeves,
Yes.
trustee Buffalo. Trustee Adams.
Aye.
Trustee Harvey.
Yes.
Motion carries.
14.8 is approval of Child Care Alliance of Los Angeles, Quality Start Los Angeles Agreement through June 30th, 2025. May I get a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Discussion? I have a question. Is this worded correctly? It says approval of Child Care Alliance of Los Angeles, Quality Start Los Angeles Agreement. Is the name of the program Quality Start Los Angeles? Okay, makes a lot of sense. Any further discussion? Vote?
Student trustee Rivera,
Approve.
trustee Gaines,
Approve.
trustee Reeves.
Yes.
Trustee Buffalo.
Yes.
Trustee Adams.
Aye.
Trustee Harvey.
Yes.
Motion carries.
14.8 is I'm sorry, we just did that one. We are at 14.9, approval of the fiscal year 25-26 resolution authorizing continued funding application for the State of California State Preschool Program. May I get a motion?
So moved. Second.
Discussion? Vote?
Student trustee Rivera?
Approve.
Trustee Gaines?
Approve.
Trustee Reeves?
Yes.
Trustee Buffalo? Trustee Adams?
Aye.
Trustee Harvey?
Yes.
Motion carries.
This is 1410. Okay. 1410, we have a speaker's card. Oh, okay, very good. 1410 is approval of rate and service agreement between Marriott for the Spring Hill Suites Lancaster and Antelope Valley College to provide temporary housing to students facing homelessness and/or housing insecurity. May I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Yes.
Hold on one second, Trustee Reeves. We have a comment card. After the comment card, you'll be allowed to speak, okay? We have Ms. Pamela Ford.
Good evening, Board of Trustees,
Good evening.
President Zealot, and legal counsel, student. I just wanted to say thank you for recognizing the need to secure safer and cleaner temporary housing for our students who are experiencing homelessness or temporary housing needs through housing insecurities. The idea that students in this situation would be able to care for themselves and their children in a safe environment will go a long way in enhancing their educational experience. And also taking this matter seriously demonstrates that Antelope Valley College has a holistic interest in serving our students, so thank you.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion for 1410? Trustee Reeves?
Yes, Madam President. You know, I brought this up before, that someday I would like to have a summit on this campus about the problem of homelessness, and specifically student homelessness, because we are continually having to provide housing for them. And I would be remiss if I didn't think that the problem exists with the high schools and other facilities in this community. So sometime in this year, I'm going to reintroduce my proposal that we have a summit on this campus with the providers to discuss the situation. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Reeves. Any further discussion? The vote?
Student trustee Rivera?
Approve.
Trustee Gaines?
Approve.
Trustee Reeves?
Yes.
Trustee Buffalo?
Yes.
Trustee Adams?
Aye.
Trustee Harvey?
Yes.
Motion carries.
1411 is approval of amendment number 2 of service agreement between CD Advantage Inc., DBA Advantage Design Group, and Antelope Valley College for student orientation videos. May I get a motion?
So moved. Second.
Discussion? Vote?
Student trustee Rivera?
Approve.
Trustee Gaines?
Approve.
Trustee Reeves?
Yes.
Trustee Buffalo? Trustee Adams?
Aye.
Trustee Harvey?
Yes.
Motion carries.
1412 is approval of amendment number 4 with ultimate exposure for photographic services for 25, 26, and 27 commencements. May I receive a motion?
So moved. Second.
Discussion? Vote?
Student trustee Rivera?
Approve.
Trustee Gaines?
Approve.
Trustee Reeves?
Yes.
Trustee Buffalo?
Yes.
Trustee Adams?
Aye.
Trustee Harvey?
Yes.
Motion carries.
1413, approval of professional services agreement between Avors LLC, DBA Avors Medical Group, and Antelope Valley College for physical exams for athletes through June 30th of 2027. A motion?
So moved. Second.
Discussion?
Yes. Yes.
Go ahead.
I was formerly a patient at Avors Medical Group, and they had one attending physician in their clinic. And so they decided that they no longer wanted to have a clinic, a primary care clinic. And so if you needed to go to Avors Medical you had to go through their urgent care. But since then, I noticed that they don't have a primary care physician at AVAR, but they have PAs, physician assistants. And I'm wondering if these physicals should be given by PAs, or should they be given by physicians? And I think that needs to be explored before we approve getting physicals for athletes. Are they going to be done by doctors or physician assistants? Thank you.
Physician's assistants are certified to a certain level of education, and it's very carefully scripted what they can and cannot do medically, what kind of medications they can and cannot advise, and all of our athletic programs must comply with 3C2A rules. And so if these exams were not allowed to be given by a physician's assistant, then we would not contract with the physician's assistant.
Well, on the agreement, it doesn't specify whether it's physician assistants or doctors or whomever. It just says the medical group.
And
but what do we want to do? Do we want to make it physicians, or do we want to make it anybody in the group?
Trustee Reyes, it is a continuation of a previous agreement with AVORs, but the reality is we have very little control over the amount of medical staff here in the AV. I do know that our hospitals and clinics, every time I look at a job board, I'm seeing something for doctors and things. So I'm sure, as Dr. Zellett said, that a physician assistant is qualified to give physical exam. And I'm afraid that if we make it physician only, then that would inhibit the students from having the proper physical that they would need, having to wait for long appointments or whatever it may be. So I want us to be considerate of that. Okay, thank you. I think we're at the vote. Yeah.
Student Trustee Rivera?
Approve.
Trustee Gaines?
Approve.
Trustee Reeves?
Yes.
Trustee Buffalo?
Yes.
Trustee Adams?
Aye.
Trustee Harvey?
Yes.
Motion carries.
1414, approval of retainer agreement and addendum number 1 between the Law Office of Sherman Wong, DBA Public Agency Law Group, and Antelope Valley College for Legal Services. A motion?
So moved. Second.
Discussion?
Yes, Madam President, I just want to ask, this law group we primarily use, if I'm not mistaken, for construction, any construction issues we may face in the future? Okay, thank you.
That is correct, Trustee Gaines. Any further discussion? Vote?
Student Trustee Rivera?
Approve.
Trustee Gaines?
Approve.
Trustee Reeves?
Aye.
Trustee Buffalo?
Yes.
Trustee Adams?
Aye.
Trustee Harvey?
Yes.
Motion carries.
1415, approval of resolution number 2425/2, authorizing grant of road easement to the city of Lancaster. May I receive a motion?
So moved. Second.
Discussion? Vote.
Student Trustee Rivera?
Approve.
Trustee Gaines?
Approve.
Trustee Reeves?
No.
Trustee Buffalo?
Yes.
Trustee Adams?
Aye.
Trustee Harvey?
Yes.
Motion carries.
1416, approval of resolution number 2425/3, authorizing grant of drainage and slope easement to the city of Lancaster. May I receive a motion?
So moved. Second.
Discussion?
Yes. I thank the president and the vice president for showing me the maps on this and discussing with me the project. What concerns me is the city is going to do all these things, and they're going to develop the neighborhoods next to the college, if I understand correctly, and they're going to put 2 units on a lot, not like they have it now where it's 1 unit, 1 house on a lot. They're going to have 2 houses on a lot, which will change the complexion of the area around here, and that bothers me that people buy homes in single-family areas, and suddenly we're going to have multiple structures on 1 lot. So I really can't go for this because it hasn't been explained. I don't know if they've explained it to the people in the area. I like the part about they'll put sidewalks in, but I don't like the part about double housing on one lot. Thank you.
Any further discussion? I just want to note that 1416 is authorizing grant of drainage and slope easement to the city of Lancaster. Is there any further discussion? The vote?
Student trustee Rivera,
Approve.
trustee Gaines,
Approve.
trustee Reeves,
No.
trustee Buffalo, trustee Adams, trustee Harvey,
Yes.
motion carries.
1417, approval of resolution 2425/4, declaring the futility of public bidding for a data management system for customizable reporting. May I get a motion?
So move.
Discussion?
Yes, though, why was there futility in getting bidding for this management system?
This is an extension of a previous agreement that we have. If you look on our website at our institutional effectiveness page, you'll see that this is manifest as Precision Campus, and it's the program that we use to visualize our data.
Okay, thank you.
Any further discussion? The vote?
Student trustee Rivera,
Approve.
trustee Gaines,
Approve.
trustee Reeves,
Aye.
trustee Buffalo, trustee Adams, trustee Harvey,
Yes.
motion carries.
1418 is approval of resolution 2425/5, declaring the futility of public bidding for an enterprise reporting and document distributing system. May I receive a motion?
So moved.
Discussion? I have a question. 1417, 1418, what's the difference? That's a public question for the public.
So 1417 has to do with data visualization. 1418 is our enterprise reporting. It's an internal system that we use.
So these are two separate needed things.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, any further discussion? The vote?
Student trustee Rivera,
Approve.
trustee Gaines,
Approve.
trustee Reeves,
Aye.
trustee Buffalo, trustee Adams,
Aye.
trustee Harvey,
Yes.
motion carries.
1419, approval of one-year renewal agreement and order form with Ellucian for EduNav and Educational Planning Tools subscription. May I receive a motion?
So move.
Second.
Discussion? Vote?
Student trustee Rivera,
Approve.
trustee Gaines,
Approve.
trustee Reeves,
Aye.
trustee Buffalo,
Yes.
trustee Adams,
Aye.
trustee Harvey,
Yes.
motion carries.
1420, approval of the addendum to the 2018 Facilities Master Plan Environmental Impact Report. May I receive a motion?
So moved. Second.
Discussion? Vote?
Student trustee Rivera,
Approve.
trustee Gaines,
Approve.
trustee Reeves,
Aye.
trustee Buffalo,
Yes.
trustee Adams,
Aye.
trustee Harvey,
Yes.
motion carries.
1421 is approval to dispose of surplus, obsolete supplies and equipment. May I have a motion?
So move.
Second.
Discussion? Vote?
Student trustee Rivera,
Approve.
trustee Gaines,
Approve.
trustee Reeves,
Aye.
trustee Buffalo,
Yes.
trustee Adams,
Aye.
trustee Harvey,
Yes.
motion carries.
1422, approval of professional services agreement between High Desert Auction and Antelope Valley College to handle obsolete equipment auction. May I have a motion?
So move.
Second.
Discussion? Vote?
Student trustee Rivera,
Approve.
trustee Gaines,
Approve.
trustee Reeves,
Aye.
trustee Buffalo,
Yes.
trustee Adams,
Aye.
trustee Harvey,
Yes.
motion carries.
1423, approval of service agreement between North State Environmental and Antelope Valley College for removal of hazardous waste. May I receive a motion? Discussion?
Yes.
Yes, trustee Reeves.
On this, there was one bid received and two not responsive. How did we ask for bids on this? Were they in writing or oral or what? How did we request the bids?
Ms. Rock?
No, we went out for bid for these. I believe Planet Bids was the medium that was used. So online.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you don't get a response, then you can automatically pick the one bidder that you have, is that?
No, non-responsive, a bid can be deemed non-responsive for any given number of reasons. They failed to provide critical information. They didn't include information that was required in the bid notification. There's any given number of reasons why a bid can be declared non-responsive.
Okay, thank you very much.
Any further discussion? The vote?
Student trustee Rivera,
Approve.
trustee Gaines,
Approve.
trustee Reeves,
Aye.
trustee Buffalo,
Yes.
trustee Adams,
Aye.
trustee Harvey.
Yes.
Motion carries.
1424, approval of amendment number 1 to services agreement between Desert Haven Enterprises and Antelope Valley Community College for custodial services at Foxfield and the Palmdale Center. May I receive a motion?
So move.
Second?
Second.
Discussion? Vote.
Student trustee Rivera,
Approve.
trustee Gaines,
Approve.
trustee Reeves,
Aye.
trustee Buffalo,
Yes.
trustee Adams,
Aye.
trustee Harvey.
Yes.
Motion carries.
1425, approval of master field contract for services between Sunbelt Controls and Antelope Valley College through June 30th, 2027. May I receive a motion?
So moved. Second.
Discussion? Vote?
Student trustee Rivera,
Approve.
trustee Gaines,
Approve.
trustee Reeves,
Aye.
trustee Buffalo,
Yes.
trustee Adams,
Aye.
trustee Harvey.
Yes.
Motion carries.
1426, approval of facilities use agreement between Hydroplane LTD and Antelope Valley College for use of district-owned and leased space. A motion, please?
So moved. Second.
Discussion? Vote?
Student trustee Rivera,
Approve.
trustee Gaines,
Approve.
trustee Reeves,
Aye.
trustee Buffalo,
Yes.
trustee Adams,
Aye.
trustee Harvey.
Yes.
Motion carries.
1427, approval to ratify agreement with Jeff Donis, DBA, JPA Builders for campus-wide water damage repair with catastrophic events funds. May I receive a motion?
So moved. Second.
Discussion? Vote?
Student trustee Rivera,
Approve.
trustee Gaines,
Approve.
trustee Reeves,
Aye.
trustee Buffalo,
Yes.
trustee Adams,
Aye.
trustee Harvey.
Yes.
Motion carries.
1428, approval to extend the use of the Foundation for California Community Colleges Master Service Agreement with Parchment LLC for the district's purchase of diploma, certificate, badging, CLR, receive premium, and recruit services through May 19 of 2026. May I get a motion?
So move.
Second.
Discussion? Vote?
Student trustee Rivera,
Approve.
trustee Gaines,
Approve.
trustee Reeves,
Aye.
trustee Buffalo,
Yes.
trustee Adams,
Aye.
trustee Harvey.
Yes.
Motion carries.
1429, approval to extend the use of Sourcewell Cooperative Agreement with Highland Software, Inc. to renew the software licenses and support for Highland's on-base and brainware systems. A motion, please?
So moved. Second.
Discussion? The vote?
Student trustee Rivera,
Approve.
trustee Gaines,
Approve.
trustee Reeves,
Aye.
trustee Buffalo,
Yes.
trustee Adams,
Aye.
trustee Harvey.
Yes.
Motion carries.
1430 is approval to utilize the Foundation for California Community Colleges Cooperative Agreement with Amazon Web Services, Inc. for the purchase of cloud hosting services. A motion, please?
So moved. Second.
Discussion? Vote?
Student trustee Rivera,
Approve.
trustee Gaines,
Approve.
trustee Reeves,
Aye.
trustee Buffalo,
Yes.
trustee Adams,
Aye.
trustee Harvey.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Board of Trustees, 1431 through 1434, I would like to group together. May I receive a motion? They are all technology services, let me say.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Vote?
Student trustee Rivera,
Approve.
trustee Gaines,
Approve.
trustee Reeves,
Aye.
trustee Buffalo,
Yes.
trustee Adams,
Aye.
trustee Harvey.
Yes.
Motion carries.
14.35, approval of furniture purchase with Sierra School equipment for the gymnasium, men and women's locker rooms with scheduled maintenance funds. May I receive a motion?
So moved. Second.
Discussion? Vote?
Student trustee Rivera,
Approve.
trustee Gaines,
Approve.
trustee Reeves,
Yes.
trustee Buffalo,
Yes.
trustee Adams,
Aye.
trustee Harvey.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Trustees, I'd like to group 1436 and 1437. May I receive a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? The vote?
Student trustee Rivera,
Approve.
trustee Gaines,
Approve.
trustee Reeves,
Yes.
trustee Buffalo, trustee Adams,
Aye.
trustee Harvey.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Could we give Patty McClure a hand for all of her help she gives to the board? Thank you so much. This was a very long agenda, and we have strived as a board to make sure that while our interpreters are still present, that everyone can have the public experience of the board meeting, so we try to be as expeditious as possible, so thank you. 15-1 is Academic Senate, Mr. Hal Huntsman.
Good evening, trustees, President Zealot, Ms. Cook, Ms. McClure. It's been my practice for several months now to try to help the board hear about some of the good work that our faculty is doing and to celebrate some of the great work that we do. And I want to do that again today. But before I do that, I do want to say that no institution is perfect, no person is perfect, and the way we treat each other is very important. I've said that before in different ways, and I think some of you have said that too, but that continues to be on my mind and on my heart and on the minds and hearts of our faculty. I'm not going to go further than that right now, but I'm just emphasizing the treatment of each other and the respect for each other is very, very important. Tonight we heard so much about some of the great work that some of our, not only our faculty, but also our classified professionals and administrators have done. The Black Excellence Award, Educator Excellence Awards was a great moment to celebrate folks that are here, and I just want to acknowledge them because they all were very deserving of the nominations. Also, we had some great sabbatical presentations, really thoughtful, very different, but powerful in their own way and compelling, I thought. And I also want to note some really great work that Antelope Valley College is doing, really a leader in the state. I don't know if you're aware of this, in terms of our work with artificial intelligence and bringing forward ideas about the ways that faculty can work with it and that students can work with it and that really everyone can work with it. And it's begun to be noticed around the state, at least that's what I'm hearing, that our AI usage work group is really doing fantastic work, lots of workshops, and educating students and faculty and others. And so it's really good work. And we're going to be discussing this Thursday on our Academic Senate agenda some AI guidelines for all the folks in our college community. So it's really, the work is continuing. I've mentioned it before, and it's not going to stop because, as you know, it's going to continue to evolve, and where it ends, who knows, right? Finally, I want to acknowledge one of our faculty members in particular, Charles Gordon, who is an outstanding contributor as a professor of kinesiology and health science and as the head coach of our Marauder soccer program. His unwavering commitment to student advocacy, curriculum development, and quality instruction exemplifies the highest standards of character and professionalism. His dedication to the development of both the men's and women's Marauder soccer program is commendable, and the positive growth in pathways he's created for each individual player reflects his deep commitment to their personal and athletic development. Under Mr. Gordon's leadership, both teams have achieved remarkable success, not just in conference championships, but in cultivating a culture of excellence and integrity that resonates throughout the community. Mr. Gordon has extensive coaching experience. He's been awarded, including the CCCAA Western State Coach of Year Awards, and he has accomplished an elite soccer club and tenure at the Quartz Hill High School, and he inspires and develops young athletes in ways that really provide for their future success. His philosophy of focusing on the whole player not only enriches the athletic experience, but also enhances the collegiate journey for each student and student athlete. Mr. Gordon's outstanding achievements, dedication, and the lasting impact he has made on the lives of countless student athletes highlight his exemplary leadership and continue to inspire us all. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We are to 15-2 Antelope Valley College Federation of Teachers. Hi.
Hi, I'm Kathy Osborne. I am the Vice President of our Federation. Dr. Bowen tonight is in his happy place. He's in his classroom teaching. He teaches on Tuesday nights and couldn't be here, so here I am. Hal and I did not coordinate this, by the way, but board, I am here to talk to you once again about meal money for our student athletes. Right now, our athletic teams are given $20 per athlete per away game. It doesn't matter if that away game is going to be 4 hours or 15 to 16 hours. They still only get $20 per athlete. Our faculty are using their own money to feed the students. Recently, our football team had an away game where they left AVC at 8 o'clock in the morning and returned at 11 o'clock at night. A 15-hour day, and athletes who play a very physical sport. Our faculty had to provide our students with water, Gatorade, snacks, and a meal for $20 per person. Our adjunct coaches earn about $10,000 to $12,000 a year, depending, from ABC, and they're using their own money to purchase water and granola bars for our athletes. We cannot use a one-size-fits-all policy for meal money. We need to feed our students based on the duration of the trip and the physical demands of their sport. The nutritional needs of a defensive tackle and a golfer are vastly different. A 4-hour away game and a 15-hour away game should not both be given $20 per student for food. If we had a fundraiser that actually raised some money, we would have the funds to provide every team with water, Gatorade, and granola bars, and then they could use that $20 for food. You know, when employees travel for ABC, we're provided with per diem for food based upon the location of the trip and the duration of the trip. Can you imagine telling an employee that they had a full-day trip and we have $20 to eat? None of us would think that that's acceptable. Generally speaking, in 15 hours, don't you eat 3 meals? I'm asking you to review the current policies and procedures for student-athlete meal money and provide parity for our student athletes. Our coaches are amazing. I hope you saw tonight with the 2 faculty members who came up here, Sherry and Karina, that our people do incredible work and they are dedicated and wonderful. When you sign up to coach, it's a passion. You're going to be away from your family on weekends. You're going to miss a lot of family time. These men and women are incredible faculty members. They're incredible in the classroom as well. We cannot continue to put the burden to pay for our students' meals on our faculty. So I am here once again to implore you, please review these policies and consider revising them to give our student athletes parity. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Osborne. Ms. Ford, Antelope Valley College Federation of Classified Employees.
Good evening again. I wanted to congratulate the Black Educator Excellence Award nominees in recognition for their excellence and service in institutions of higher learning. Their examples as role models, educators, and their commitment to education makes them stand out and motivated many to nominate them for this prestigious award. Next, I would like to talk about Lou Stoltz. I would like to honor and make a few comments regarding him. During his tenure as Antelope Valley College Board of Trustees member, regardless of whether or not he agreed with me on a position, he was always cordial. Every board meeting, he would always make a point of extending a greeting and a handshake. His welcoming demeanor always reminded me that he knew why he was here. He understood his role and recognized the fact that it was the public constituents that he was here to serve. What will be missed the most about him is that robust laugh of his, which was contagious. Even if you didn't want to laugh, you couldn't help yourself because his laugh would catch even the most opposing person off guard, and it would make them laugh. He also had a very generous smile. Though I did not always agree with his position, and in fairness, he didn't always agree with mine, there was a level of respect. Mr. Stoltz will be long remembered for his dedicated service to Antelope Valley College Board of Trustees, and we thank him for serving.
Thank you, Ms. Ford.
Mr. Buffalo, I just want you to know I'm continuing my training. I just had another set of training last Friday, and with Frisk, and it's I find it very insightful and very concerning. Insightful because there's a lot of information and practical application. I mean, it's a step-by-step applied training to help managers be able to work with their employees, which then creates an environment of employer-employee relations and demonstrates to both sides to work together. It's concerning because the more I learn, the more I see the gaps that exist in terms of employee and management, and I'm wondering how much of the training, well, actually, I haven't seen it applied, and that's what surprises me, and that's what's concerning. This training is outstanding, and I don't always agree with y'all's legal counsel, as you well know, but as far as this training and how to help managers be managers, I think it's important. And since you all are the last line when it comes to whether we file a grievance or whatever, I think I would encourage you, at least 2 of you, to maybe participate in the training and see how it goes. And the reason why I'm suggesting that is because you are the last decision maker when it comes to any of our processes. And having the information, knowing exactly what should have happened before it got to you, would inspire you to ask the questions that need to be asked, because I think that when it comes to discipline, every employee deserves progressive discipline, the full chain of progressive discipline. But if you don't know what you're looking for, you might not know. You might not be able to catch if there's a gap or if there's something missing. So I would implore all of you to look into the training. Thank you. Because I think that there's been a large body of employees that have faced disciplinary action in one way or the other, or termination, or paid administrative leave. And I think we can eliminate some of that if the training is applied and if everyone understands it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Ford. Ashley Hawkins, Confidential Management Supervisory Administrator, Employees.
Good evening, everyone. I want to start by congratulating all of the 2025 Black Educator Excellence Award nominees. I have had the distinct pleasure of working with each and every one of the nominees in different capacities over the years, and they are such a bright reflection of the things that are offered here on this campus, and we are truly proud and just lucky to be able to work alongside them. The sabbatical presentations, I have to say I love when we get to hear those, because those of us who are not in the classroom sometimes get so distant from what happens in the classroom, and it's an opportunity to be reminded of the caliber of faculty we have and the education that our students receive. They were very impressive, both of them. Finally, I do want to celebrate Interim Director Alberto Mendoza Gonzalez Larrañaga and Vice President Farley and the entire equity team for leading a successful observance of Hispanic Heritage Month. Their hard work has brought together students, faculty, and staff in meaningful ways that have truly highlighted the importance of the celebration for our campus community, which will continue tomorrow on campus from 12 to 3. I do want to recognize that we celebrated Indigenous Peoples Day, which is an important opportunity to reflect on the history, contributions, and ongoing presence of Indigenous communities and it's a reminder of the importance of inclusion and respect that we all do participate in here at AVC. We are about halfway through the fall semester. Things are progressing. You know, I wrote smoothly here, and I do think that that is one adjective that would work, but I think that things are also very, very busy here, which is a really, really good sign of the changes that are happening and the success that our students are achieving. Faculty are doing amazing work in the classrooms, and classified staff, as always, are working tirelessly to meet our students' needs. We are doing our best to ensure student success, and just happy to build on the positive momentum. Thank you guys so much. Have a great night.
Thank you so much. Next, we have Associated Student Organization.
She is.
Oh, I thought I saw her name.
Good evening, Board, President Zealot, Bridget, and Miss Patty. Good evening, everybody. Have a good, hope everything's well. So the Associate Student Organization is doing pretty well for themselves, and everything is running smoothly on our end. I will say a couple of events that are happening pretty soon for us, or that have happened, are one, an auction. The auction that this year we will be hosting the auction that will be happening in Lot A1 on October 26th, and that we're going to be doing that. We are going to have a trunk or treat October 24th, and also our Region 6 chairs and our region intern came to the school and gave a presentation to a couple of our cabinet and also toured our campus to see what it was like and what was AVC about mostly. That was also a very successful trip. It was very short, very sweet. It happened on Friday, I believe, October 11th, I believe. That was a great trip too. Oh, sorry. We also have cleaned our hub space more because tomorrow the Dreamer Center will be using it to host a sort of talk, I believe, with someone that is coming to speak. I don't know the details of that, but our space is a little more clean now, and it's very presentable, and it's also really decorated. It's really cute. And we have a survey that will be going out to the entire community. It will be more of so how ASO can better assist the community and what we are from the community's perspectives to kind of give us more insight and a little more guidance on how we can help the students and the people that we're supposed to serve. The survey will be going until November, I believe. We're going to keep it for all the way of October and until November. My phone keeps turning off, sorry. And then the culture festival that's happening tomorrow, ASO will be tabling there, especially in promoting voter registration. Of course, that has been a goal of ours to promote voter registration as much as possible, to try to get as many students informed and to register to vote, or at least think about it to get in that process to vote. And also there was a art contest that happened that has been happening for, I believe, the past 2 weeks or so. It did end today and they were judged, and the winner should be announced tomorrow. It was very successful, I believe, and 2 of our ASO members were judges. So thank you, that is all. Have a good one.
Thank you so much. Antelope Valley College Foundation, Diane. Okay, it's good to see you. Dr. Zillett?
Thank you, President Harvey. Good evening, Board. I hope everyone found a way to celebrate our new holiday that was negotiated into the contracts. Yesterday we celebrated Indigenous Peoples Day, and always on the front of our board agenda is printed a land acknowledgement. It's a draft that one of our anthropology faculty has been working with local Indigenous tribes to to come to a land acknowledgement that works for everyone, and it reads like this. In keeping with Indigenous protocol, we would like to acknowledge that Antelope Valley College District is situated upon the traditional lands of the Chumash, Kawesu, Kitanimuk, Serrano, Tataviam, Vanyume, and to many diverse Indigenous peoples who call this region home. We also pay respect to elders, both past and present, and the enduring presence of Indigenous peoples on this land. We recognize that these tribes are still here, and we are committed to lifting up their stories, culture, and community. So I hope everyone was able to recognize Indigenous Peoples Day yesterday. We could go ahead. I don't have the clicker, so please go ahead. My report will take a little bit of a different shape tonight. I wanted to share out with the board and with the public my trip to Washington, D.C., September 16th and 19th. I was with American Association of Community Colleges, their Advocates in Action program, and we spent 3 days advocating at the federal level for things of interest that directly impact community colleges. This is actually the Nancy Pelosi room that we were in, and so the photograph there, David O'Brien is with the Chancellor's office, and we had a representative from California Community College, or the Community College League of California, too many acronyms. But the three of us were the California representatives at this federal event, and the main things that we were advocating for, one is short-term Pell Grants so that our students who are going into workforce programs can receive Pell Grants for programs that are 8 to 14 weeks in duration. And we know that for our students, those short-term certificates get them to work quickly, and allowing Pell Grants to apply to these short-term programs will help our students move up into jobs quicker. Alongside that, we were advocating for tax-free Pell. A lot of folks don't know that Pell Grants, you would think a grant is not taxable because of the word grant, but Pell Grants are taxable for money that does not apply directly to their educational expenses. So any money that's used for living, for rent, for car, for gas, for food, that money's taxed as if it's income. The challenge is for community college students, we do everything we can to reduce their educational expenses to zero, and so they are largely getting this grant to live on, and so they get taxed on their Pell Grant, where UC and CSU students do not, because their costs are so much higher. So in the interest of not taxing those who can least afford it and really trying to bring some sense to this, we were advocating for both tax-free Pell and short-term Pell. Also, with the reauthorization of the WIOA Act, which is Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act, which is jobs training for incumbent workers and that kind of thing, we were advocating that community colleges be added to the WIOA Act as authorized trainers. Right now, we do oftentimes wind up training folks, but we have to go through a third party in order to be counted as an authorized trainer. So in the interest of cutting to the chase, we just were advocating for that. Both of those things, they were not acted upon before Congress went into recess, but interestingly enough, if there's common ground at our federal level, everybody's interested in getting students to work and in CTE programs, and so these things are likely to see some action. If we go to the next slide, please. I was able to visit all of our legislators, both senators for California. I met with their education advisors. They were very busy that day, but our congressmen, both Mike Garcia and Vince Fong, made time to meet with me in particular, and I really appreciated that because it was also a busy day for them. I told Mike that Vince Fong hasn't beat out his window. You can see the Capitol building. I think he somehow got the better office, but anyway, it was really, really helpful to meet with them. They're both very interested in making sure that the college has what it needs to serve our students and to serve this area. And I was able to share with them about the introduction of our second baccalaureate program, some of the growth in our CTE areas, our MOU with CSU Bakersfield regarding cybersecurity and engineering, and some of these other programs that we're looking to expand. And so they're both very interested in investing in the college in any way that they can, and it was really, really helpful to meet with them. The other piece of my trip had to do with our beloved skyrocket. We had to move it in order to make room for the Commons. And this gentleman here, his name is Dr. Bob Vanderlinden, and he's an aeronautical historian at the Smithsonian Air and Space Museum. And he was one who, he's the one who kind of was the lead on that project, the Skyrocket project. What's interesting is their Skyrocket is in deep storage. The museum itself is undergoing a lot of renovations. If you could see this picture up close, you would see on the book that he's reading and pointing to, the image of that aircraft, that's actually the Douglas 5582. That's actually the Skyrocket that he's reading about. What was really fascinating, I took him copies of all of our archives regarding the Skyrocket. He shared a Dropbox folder that had tons of information. Antelope Valley College is all over their records because of that we have one of the 3 planes. And the information that he shared with us completed our archives with regard to the Skyrocket, gave a ton of helpful information for what they did when they restored their Skyrocket. And I think as we look forward to the restoration of the plane and helping it find its permanent home, the information they shared with us will cut to the chase and give us a lot of good guidance. Next slide, please. Interestingly enough, if you go into the Aerospace Museum, the Smithsonian, and you go to the planetarium to see some of their movies, right there, what is now hanging a replica of a Star Wars X-Wing fighter. That's where the Douglas 558-2 used to hang, right? And they moved it in the interest of putting up a Star Wars, and we had a little bit of a bemoaning of something fictional taking place of a historical artifact, and I said, but it did kill the Death Star, so maybe we need to give it a little credit. Anyway, as the museum goes through a lot of its renovations, he said he would be advocating for the return of the Skyrocket to its rightful place, being suspended there. Go ahead and hit the last slide, please. So all in all, it was really a successful trip. Made connections with our politicians and our ed advisors. We discussed appropriations with our congressmen and senators and the different types of appropriations that the college might be able to access. Learned a lot about our Skyrocket and how we can care for her, and really put AVC on the radar for a lot of folks. And to me, that's one of the things that I'm most proud of, is sharing the amazing successes of this college, which are due to all of our faculty and staff, the board, people who've been here for years and years, have built this institution into the place that it is, one that we can all be very proud of. So it was a great trip, and I look forward to seeing some of these things come to fruition for our students and for the institution. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Zillette. We'll now have board member comments. We're going to start with our student trustee, Anthony Rivera.
Good evening, and now it is officially fall. Well, we know that is true in the Rivera household when we have gone through 2 pumpkin pies in the past month. But now that we are in fall, we are in midterm season right now, or just ending it, and we're really in the depths of our semester now. And I'd like to appreciate our teachers, our faculty who are dedicating a lot of time to grading papers and supporting our students, and our students who are working hard on their papers. I'd also like to extend my congratulations to the nominees for the Black Educator Excellence Awards. Your work is much appreciated. And I'd also like to touch on one of the presentations. I thought it was very important that we do address the prevalence of AI. I really liked what was said in the sabbatical presentation about needing to teach students that their voice is more important than that of AI. That ChatGPT, what it's spitting out, isn't what we're looking to foster here at AVC, and that we're really looking to cultivate and help students explore their voice. And I hope that these efforts can go to support students in exploring their identities, their cultures, and what they can bring to the table. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Trustee Gaines?
Thank you, Madam President. I too want to congratulate our BEE award nominees, and I want to say thank you for the profound work that you do every day at Antelope Valley Community College. Giving you that nomination doesn't seem like it's enough, but it's one way of us saying thank you. I also want to say that I want to thank all of the presenters this evening. I learned a lot, and I always enjoy those who are presenting after their sabbaticals. And very, very interesting presenters this evening. And I want to say that I hear you. I really do hear you this evening with regard to our athletes and $20. And I truly can understand, because I used to have a $55 a day meal. And when you're in San Diego, for example, and you go downstairs at your hotel and the breakfast buffet is $32, dinner starts looking really bad. So I understand what it's like to try to squeeze, and our athletes should not have to do that, especially when they're on a 16-hour trip. They're representing Antelope Valley Community College. They're out there with pride, giving us 110%. And I think as a community college, we need to do better for them. So I just want you to know I will certainly look into that. Don't know how far I'll get, but I will certainly try with that. And this evening, I'm going to end. Thank you, Pam, for bringing up the sense of humor of our former board member, Lou Stoltz. When I was first elected to this board in 2013, he rarely ever, initially when I was doing debates and things, I was very concerned because he didn't really smile at me very much. And I thought, oh, good gracious, he's scary a little bit. But when I was elected and we were in closed session, I remember a lot about Lou Stoltz was a very bright man, first and foremost, very intelligent. But no matter what kind of news we heard in closed session, Lou had a way of bringing us all kind of to have a smile, or he would make some light of something, and then it was like, okay. I really learned to love that about him as we served together, and I think he was a servant in his community in many ways. Rotary, the community college, and I'm sure I don't even begin to know all the ways he served, but I'm just very, very grateful that we acknowledged him and his service this evening. Thank you, Pam, for also remembering him.
Thank you, Trustee Gaines. Trustee Reeves?
No comment.
Trustee Buffalo?
Yes, I totally agree about the meal money. I understand. Having been a former coach for 13 years, it's very difficult with the inflationary, which is continuing higher, particularly if you go to fast food places. It's unbelievable. I had a worker at McDonald's said he can't afford to eat there. So that should tell you something. And then a regular restaurant is getting to be quite outrageous. So yes, we should look into that. You know, obviously, we probably need to know what other colleges are doing. I'm sure they're similar to us because we're dealing with the state and we're underfunded. We are way underfunded. So, but I agree. We need to do something. So that's all. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Trustee Adams?
I want to thank the Veteran Service Office for putting on the 9/11 remembrance last month. It takes a lot of effort to put up 3,000 flags, and it's always a very emotional and rewarding ceremony that the college hosts on an annual basis. I would suggest that we close this meeting in honor of Lou Stoltz. Lou was a wonderful board member. As Barbara mentioned, no matter how tense sometimes the closed sessions would be, Lou would always have a story to tell or a joke to tell, or he'd just say, you know, you need to get a dog. To Lou, all problems could be solved if you had a dog. So I would suggest that we close tonight's meeting in honor of Lou. He was very important to the college and very important to the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Adams, and your recommendation will be taken. I just wanted to say I want to give my condolences personally to Ms. Karen Stoltz. I am certain that a lifetime of love will be missed, and so I just wanted to shout her out and let her know that she's in our thoughts and in our prayers. This has to be hard. We have a new interpreter. I want you to know that I noticed, and the advancement of that means a lot to me. I was a kid who wore hearing aids, so it matters, and I'm glad to see that. And then Trustee Rivera said that we're headed towards midterm, so I want to wish all of our students a good midterm. Please study hard. Our next board meeting is on November 12th, 2024, and in Tuesday, yes. And in honor of our former board member, Mr. Lou Stoltz, we are not returning to closed session, and we will adjourn this meeting in his honor. Thank you. Have a good evening.